How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. And today we're going to be talking about Lucid Group. And I must say, it was really volatile inside of the market, the type of price action that traders love. We ended up getting to a low testing the $38 level and ended up making a strong move, getting above it. The buyers stepped in. Again, it was pretty exciting to see. I didn't get the opportunity to trade it, but one thing that I want to emphasize that many people were giving me flack and a lot of hate when I was saying if you're a long-term investor, you do not want to be buying Lucid at the $50 areas. It pulled back to 38 on the day. I never tell you guys to go out and buy anything, but I want to make sure that you're prepared. And of course, I won't waste any more time, so let's jump into the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below inside the description. But if you're a shareholder or you're thinking about taking a position, I highly suggest you watch this full entire video. So the first thing we're going to go over is a technical analysis. We're going to be taking a look at the overall price action. We want to know support. We want to know resistance. We want to know what it looks like in the bearish case scenario and as well as in the bullish case scenario. And then we're going to go on Fintel, taking a look at the short interest information. The reason why the short interest is important because it does have an impact on the way the stock performs. And then we're going to be taking a look at the order flow distribution. We want to know what does the buying and the selling behavior like on the retail side and as well as on the institutional side. And then when all of that is done, we'll be going into the final thoughts and as well as some more details. So let's get to it. So we're going to do a technical analysis for Lucid. Let's see how it performed on the day. So it ended up closing at $44.86, being down 5.10%. On the low, it tested $38.06, and then on the high, testing $45.75. When we take a look at the volume stats on the day, you can see we traded at 103.718 million shares, and the average volume over 10 trading days being at 81.87 million shares. So we did have above average volume on the day, and it's part of the reasons why we saw a lot of volatility inside of the stock. Many were taking advantage of that dip when it got down to the $38 level, and of course we had the buying pressure that was continuing afterwards. Now when we take a look at our chart, which is the daily chart, we can see from the RSI down below it is right at 50.44. And then when we take a look at our moving averages here in the chart, we have strength above the 200 day, the 100 day, the 50 day, but we are below the 21 day EMA. So that's one thing you're going to want to keep in mind here. So going into tomorrow, if Lucid decides to pull back, you're going to want to see some strength here right at the $40 level. If we have a pullback that's higher than 40, then I'm going to be looking for some strength here above 42.55. Now, as far as for the worst case scenario on a pullback, if we end up breaking through this $38 level like we did today, then I can see us coming all the way down here testing the 50 day around $36.18. So that's just one thing you're going to want to keep in mind. So as far as for that bullish case scenario, I want to see Lucid get up to the $50 level. But the only way this is going to happen, it's going to have to pass the 21 day EMA at 46.88. And we also are aware of the fact that 47.50 was an area of support. Now this will be a psychological area. And I feel once it can get above 47.50, then the next level you're going to want to look out for will be right around here at 48.50. So let's see what Lucid decides to do. It could just consolidate above $40, but if it doesn't do that and decides to break down, then that's why I say we could easily have a test here right around the 50 day. So let's see how it performs going into tomorrow. So we're going to take a look at the short interest information for Lucid. So the dark pool short volume ratio is at 60.91%, and then for the dark pool short volume being just over 25.72 million shares. Scrolling down further on the page, the short shares availability is at 9 million, updated 42 minutes ago, and then for the short ball fee rate, it is at 1.39%. When we take a look at the history of the short volume ratio, we could see for the close of December the 2nd, it was at 60.82. And then for the close of December the 3rd, it was at 60.91. So what does this tell us right away? There's a lot of negative market sentiment around this stock. But but it also does tell us when we have increased buying pressure, then we can see some strong moves to the upside. So this is why you want to continue to keep this play on your watch list. So now let's move on to the order flow distribution. Now let's take a look at the order flow distribution for Lucid. So we can see here on the inflow, it was at 1,017, and then on the outflow, it was at 892. So we end up having an inflow day. When we take a look at the breakdown, you could see on the large, it was 7.79. On the medium, it was 524, and then on the small, it was 485. Keep in mind, this is in the millions. When we take a look at the outflow side on the large, it was 13.05, and on the medium, it was 471, and then on the small, it was 407. When we take a look at the large scale orders in the last 5 days, you could see for today, December the 6th, it being that negative of 5.26 million. When we analyze the numbers even further for the small scale orders that tend to represent the retail side, we had more buying than we had selling. Not surprised, many taking advantage of that $38 dip. Then when we take a look at what happened on the medium, we had more buying than we had selling. And then when we take a look at the large, that's where we can see which potentially could represent institutions. We had a lot more selling than we had buying. Now, when we take a look at the turnover ratio, it was at 6.31%. No surprises there due to the fact there are many traders who are inside of this play. And also, we've been noticing a lot of selling pressure in Lucid stock, making those lower lows. So a lot of people are just profit taking. These are one of the things that you want to be aware of. And this is why I say, if you are a long-term investor, you want to exercise some patience if you want to get into Lucid. So now let's jump into the final thoughts and we'll go over some more details as well. So for my final thoughts for Lucid, before I get started, let's go over why the stock pulled back today. So why Lucid shares are sliding today. Lucid is trading lower Monday morning after the company said it received a subpoena from the SEC requesting documents related to an investigation. On December the 3rd, 2021, Lucid Group Inc. received a subpoena from the Securities and Exchange Commission requesting the production of certain documents related to an investigation by the SEC, Lucid said in a recently filed Form 8-K. Although there is no assurance as to the scope or the outcome of this matter, the investigation appears to concern the business combination between the company Churchill Capital Corp. And Antiva Inc. and certain projections and statements. The company is cooperating fully with the SEC in its review. So taking into consideration what we just went over, there were many investors inside of the market that saw this as a buying opportunity. Of course, for myself personally, I didn't see it as a buying opportunity because I still feel in regards to overall valuation, Lucid does trade very high. You're going to be paying quite the premium paying at these current prices. I'm going to stick by that. I'm not going to be changing my mind whatsoever. But of course, due to the volatility that came out of all of this, there were opportunities for traders to take advantage of, whether you were trying to buy puts or whether you wanted to go in and buy some calls. Also, when we went on Fintel taking a look at the short interest information, it still continues to have short squeeze potential, and there's a lot of negative market sentiment around the stock. These are part of the reasons why, if you are going to be inside of this play, you need to do your homework, do your due diligence, watch the technicals, be aware of those support and those resistance areas so you have a good idea of what you need to do as far as if you're going to be trading it. Another thing to be aware of as far as price levels, I want to see Lucid get back to 47.50. You guys have heard me talk about that in previous videos. Get to 47.50, make that move to 49, and then see if we can consolidate, get back into that $50 level, and then see where we can go from there. That is the bullish case scenario. If we end up having another test to $38, like I was saying inside of the technicals, then easily we could start testing at the $36 range, $36 and around 16 cents to be exact, which is lined up right at the 50-day. So taking that into consideration, keep an eye on all of those levels, because I want to make sure if you are going to be going in this play, and this is not financial advice, you have a game plan. I'm going to say that in all of my videos, because many people just say, you know what, I'm just going to buy this stock and we'll see what happens. Nah, you can't do it when it comes to play like these, and especially with the market conditions and how choppy they have been. We did have a nice recovery. You want to make sure that you are protecting yourself and you're minimizing your risk when you're getting into a trade. So let's see how Lucid performs going into tomorrow. But as far as the technicals are concerned, we are seeing lower lows, so be aware of that. Pay attention to see what happens in the pre-market and also see what the market conditions look like. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.